Okay, this is part 2, and we last left off talking about Oceanic 6 and what all was going on with that. But let's talk about, for one thing, let's talk about Michael. Because as any of you who actually watch the show, hopefully the ones watching this, hopefully, if you know, at Comic-Con, this last Comic-Con they had, Harold Perrineau, who plays Michael in Lost, he made an appearance at the Lost panel, and he's coming back this season. And it's confirmed that he's coming back within the first 8 episodes, so we won't have to wait, you know, after the Writers Guild strike, things settle. We won't have to wait for that to end, but he is coming back. So I know when he's coming back from, you know, various places, he's coming back in episode 8, I'm pretty sure, which is, of course, going to be the last one we get. So I'm thinking he may come back in sort of a cliffhanger way, but also he may come back at the beginning because, you know, they're going to want to have some screen time instead of just showing up. But as you know, the season finale, Locke was in the pit, you know, where he got shot. Yeah. And Walt was there. And Walt told him that he had work to do, and of course, after that, Locke shot Naomi. And another thing is, we haven't seen the last of Naomi. She's going to be back. Spoiler warning. Should have put that at the beginning.
Gotta warn them.
Gotta warn them. Oh well, they'll live. But of course, really, if you've seen the promo and for Lost, which is what we're going to talk about in a minute, if you've seen that and actually paid attention, you can see her, Naomi, in it, jumping from a tree, it looks like. So who knows how that's going to play out. But yeah, so we haven't seen the last of Naomi, so she's going to be in there some more. And I can say there are, I think, 4 or 5 boat people coming, and from the promos it seems that they come by helicopter, much like Naomi did. And one of the characters is played by Jeremy Davies, who was in Saving Private Ryan. He played Upham, the cowardly.
Good movie.
Good movie though. Yeah, you need to see that. Giving them a plug, shamelessly.
Yeah, shamelessly.
Also, listen to this music, by the way. The Secret Handshake. Best
Again,
ever.
if you've seen any of our videos.
If you've seen any of them, it's played in the background of almost every one. But anyway, that's off topic of Lost. Sorry.
Back to Lost.
Back to Lost. Yeah, we're going to be seeing Michael again. And we're going to find out, I can say, where he has been since he left on that raft. Or, no, not the raft, but he left on the boat. Given to him by the others. Another thing about the others, and Ben in general, is, as you know, Ben is being held captive since the season finale.
We left him pretty bloody.
Yeah, we left him pretty bloody, tied up to a tree.
To a tree.
Poor man.
By Rousseau.
Rousseau, yeah.
Which is ironic.
Yeah, which, you know, there's a little tie there with her and Alex, which she's now being reunited with her daughter. So that's a little interesting thing we've been waiting on since, what, season 1? And basically, Ben is now no longer the leader that he was because the others are in disarray. But the Losties, the castaways, are also going to be shifting away from each other a little bit because there are going to be some that want to be rescued and there are going to be some that don't. And as you know, Jack is, of course, with the pro-rescue people. And Locke, I believe you can expect him to be on the opposite side. He doesn't want to leave. As you know, he thinks he belongs on the island. Made him walk again, so who's to say if he left he might not be able to walk again, so it's not in his favor to leave. And also, Sawyer is he's gonna be in Locke's camp because Sawyer wouldn't want to leave. He doesn't have anything to go back to, really. So that's gonna probably, you know, hint hint, end up splitting him and Kate apart a little bit, which is also gonna play out in episode 4. And we haven't seen, of course, the last of Desmond. He's gonna have to come back and give the news of our late Charlie Pace.
That's gonna be rough.
Yeah, his death down in the Looking Glass, which, as you know, if you've also watched the promos, there's a brief glimpse of Charlie talking to Hurley, it seems, and he's got a different little hairdo, so we can't say that it's, you know, we don't really know what that is.
Flash forward, flashback.
It may be a flashback, it may be a flash forward. We may find out that Charlie had another connection with somebody in a Hurley flashback or something. But I don't think we can expect him to be still alive. He died. When you stay underwater and, you know, you float around and you don't breathe anymore, you're dead.
Yep. It's what happens.
They pretty much made it official that Charlie's out of the picture. But just as in Boone, he comes back every once in a while. Echo hasn't made an appearance since he died. And Lucia did in a little vision to Echo. And that brings us back to the Smoke Monster.
Old Smokey.
The old Smoke Monster. Gotta love it. Officially known as Cerberus, I think, on the Blast Door map, if any of you know what that is. Of course you do if you're watching this. But yeah, this has been part 2 to the podcast. Part 2. I put up a 1.
I had you covered.
He had me covered. And oh, by the way, cousins. By the way,
If you couldn't already guess.
if you didn't already guess, we basically make every video together. Cousins might as well be brothers. We have a long thing about we may be brothers. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? We technically aren't, but we are. But anyway, we'll be giving you part 2, 3.
3.
This is part 2. We'll be giving you part 3 to the podcast very soon, in like a couple minutes actually. So, peace.